Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. What's going well for the Saints right now?
That's a good question. It's hard to put your finger on that. I guess they came back in the game
Yeah.
Sunday against Detroit. They scored some. They did well in the red zone last week, and that was the biggest talking point all week. And it got lost by the time the post game storyline became to kind of emerged. They used to take the ball away. They didn't do it last week, so I think you're getting kind of an idea. Sometimes they do well in some areas. Sometimes they do well in other areas, and sometimes they don't. And it's been that mixed bag that's kind of been the reason why you're 5-7 right now.
How big a game is Sunday for the
Uh,
organization?
I mean, it's huge. This is the type of game where like you can't survive a loss in terms of A, playoff standings, but B, I mean, this is an organization that doesn't make in-season moves, but I couldn't imagine if they were to come out and play the way they played, like they did against Detroit, against Carolina, the worst team in the league by far, with a rookie quarterback whose head is spinning at home. I couldn't imagine there would have to be a major shakeup at that point. I would think that would be at least on the table if they lose. Um, that's just the reality of the situation that they're in right now.
Let's talk about the situation the team is in right now. Obviously, Derek Carr has just been beat up for a month and a half now. Would you be surprised if he plays on Sunday?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he
Yeah.
played. I think there's a chance. I think there is a chance he plays. He's a guy that clearly feels like if he is healthy enough to go, he errs on the side of going. And I guess we'll figure out the official designation from Wednesday's practice in a couple of hours. But if he can't go, they will turn to Jameis Winston, and if they turn to Jameis Winston, they'll game plan it in a way that suits his strength, so to speak, and they would see how it goes at that point. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if Carr played. I just don't know where it's at percentage wise in terms of how close he is to going.
This is obviously a very subjective question, but where is the drop off, if any, from Derek Carr healthy at the level he's played this year to Jameis Winston?
I wouldn't say it's a crazy drop off. There is a little bit of a dip, just in terms of pre-snap recognition, identifying Mike linebackers, setting coverage, setting up protections, that sort of thing. There are certainly things Jameis does well, and there are certainly things that Derek Carr does well. I wouldn't necessarily think there would be a huge drop off, especially if you had the entire week to prepare with Jameis Winston going through all the practice reps with the first team, as opposed to being called in relief. Last week was the fourth quarter against Minnesota. It was the second half against Green Bay. It was the fourth quarter as well, or I guess it was the second half as well. So it would stand to reason that he would be in a little bit better position just because of the practice reps. But I don't think there would be a huge drop off. It'd be a slight one, but not a crazy drop off if that were indeed the case.
What did you expect from the Saints running game preseason as compared to what it has been through 3 quarters of the year?
A whole lot more than I'm seeing now, especially when you consider how much they've invested in that offensive line. They've had to do some shuffling, and one of the guys that they drafted along that offensive line isn't even playing, or isn't even in. He's not even a tackle eligible in Trevor Penning. So that has been that's been one of the biggest disappointments. I think Alvin Kamara is still a very, very, very good player. I don't think he's quite the elite player he once was, but as we saw Sunday, he can still be a difference maker. And you've gotten nothing, absolutely nothing out of any back behind him. And the only other player running the ball with any effectiveness is Taysom Hill. I mean, Jamal Williams is non-existent, and then Kendre Miller, he can't get healthy at the moment. So we'll see. It just feels like if that were better, that seems like that would be a tangible thing that could help a lot of issues with this team and this offense in particular. But that's been a massive struggle this year.
Sean Fazende, Fox 8's our guest here on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Defense was so good at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, and they've been playing from behind now for a month and a half, and that was certainly the case on Sunday. What do you attribute these slow starts defensively to?
Colin Saunders said something interesting after the game when he talked about better scouting of opponents to be a little more aware of what could be coming to start the game as opposed to having to adjust mid-game and catch up that way. That was a very, very revealing soundbite from him, just because it certainly feels like they're what they expect early on is not happening, and they're getting caught in a hole. And they do well to bounce, to sort of stabilize, but then like any good team does, they're going to adjust to your adjustments. And at some point, like we saw Sunday, a really good offense like Detroit was able to do enough to score enough points to obviously win that game. So the defensive fall off the last 6 weeks has been such an unexpected part of what's happened this season. It's thrown the entire formula for success off, because the formula for success, the non-negotiable formula for success, was a very good to great / elite defense, and started out that way, but it's really fallen off over the last 6 weeks.
I had friends in the Dome on Sunday that were texting me, people leaving in the first quarter, boos raining down every time Derek Carr took the field. How much do Gail Benson, Dennis Lauscha, Mickey Loomis care about the attendance and what it looks like and sounds like in the Dome on Sunday?
Well, look, they care about attendance because this is a small market. This is very much one of those. It's a local city. You know that we're a local city here, and local city supports the Saints. And I have never seen that. And I have been I started going to Saints games as a kid during the Mora era. I mean, even the 94, the end of the Mora / Ditka years, that weird 94 to 99 stretch. I have never seen that many visiting fans in the stands, and I have never seen the home crowd turn on a quarterback that quickly. I know that Aaron Brooks had some rough moments, but it was well into his tenure with the Saints. So it made for one of the weirdest, tensest, and one of the most awkward just energy I've ever seen inside that Dome. A place where, it was the start of 3 straight home games. You'd think that would be the favorable part of your schedule, and it felt the exact opposite on Sunday. So to answer your original question, yes, they noticed it. Be very curious to see what it looks like, what the picture looks like in the stands this week. And if it continues like this, we got a few more home games here. That is something that's definitely going to catch their eye and catch their attention when it comes down to making some decisions, if it comes to that at some point.
How do you think it plays out on Sunday?
Look, I think they win. I really do, because honestly, I didn't expect them to beat the Lions. I didn't expect them to fall behind 21-0, but I said when they entered the 3-game homestand that they were probably going to be 7-7 by the end of that, and I still stand by that. Carolina is a mess. I call it the interim energy. When the interim coach comes in, there seems to be a little bit of a jolt, but even that kind of faded a little bit last week when they played Tampa, usually that 2-game window. So I guess they're still somewhat in that, but that feels like a broken franchise that's just ready for the season to end. The Saints have got to take advantage of that, and I just think they're better. And you really look at Carolina, they can't score. I mean, they can't score. See, it's not like you got to play lights out on offense or even lights out on defense to beat this team. So yes, I expect the Saints to win, despite how ugly it may or may not look. I still expect a victory on Sunday.
Dennis Allen about to meet with the media. Sean Fazende will be there joining us now. Sean, we appreciate the time.
No problem, bud. Thanks.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.